'cause the music makes me high. And if I only got one more night, I'm gonna leave out a loud goodbye.
This gonna be the type of night they make movies about. Bitch niggas.
What up, what up? It's your boy Mr. Vaughn, Mr. Vaughn's channel Sweatbox. We back, we live, we active here on the channel. And we got a review for y'all today, man. Let's talk about this Black Mirror, this BanderSnatch movie, I guess, extended episode. I don't know what to exactly call it, but it was crazy. I mean, Black Mirror is crazy. If you haven't watched Black Mirror, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's a terrifying show, but it's an awesome show. And the show itself is already next level, but with this episode, BanderSnatch, they took it to the next level. This is the future of entertainment, and we're going to talk about it. There's going to be a lot of spoilers, but not really, because it's hard to talk about it because this episode is something you've never seen before. And I really want to thank Netflix and Black Mirror for being on the cutting edge of something like this. So the basis of this story is a character by the name of, let me look at my thing. Let me look at the Stephen Butler is a game developer in the early 80s. I think it's 84, something like that, 86, something like that. He's in the game developer in the 80s, and he develops a game called BanderSnatch based off of a book of the same title. And the story and the premise of the story is him developing the game and getting it ready to sell to this game company. The other main character in this, or the other character is one of the other main characters, Colin Rittman, plays the other. He's the superstar game developer, and that's played by Will Poulter, who you guys might know from Maze Runner and We Are the Millers and a couple other movies like that. He's a really good actor. I like him. He was great in this role. But that's about as far as the normal gets to this episode, because it gets crazy, because this was an interactive episode. For anybody who grew up in the 80s reading those Choose Your Own Adventure books, this was basically a Choose Your Own Adventure book made into a television show. For my gamers, this is one of those games. It was one of those games like Knights of the Old Republic, where you make decisions and those decisions affect later, or it's like the Telltale game series, The Walking Dead, or the Game of Thrones Telltale game series, something like that, in that vein. It's an interactive television show where you make decisions, and then the story progresses on, and it was insane. I've never seen anything like that, and I enjoyed it. From the little things like picking which cereal you're going to eat or which music you're going to listen to the decisions of where are you going to stay at the company to develop your game, or are you going to do it at home by yourself, to decisions that lead you down the rabbit hole. Are you going to look this? It's insane, and there's multiple endings. And if you know Choose Your Own Adventure books, how it works is if you go down the rabbit hole the wrong way, you're going to reach a dead end, and they'll send you back to the beginning and you start over. And this was the same way. There's a point where you have to choose, spoiler alert, like I said, there's a point where you have to choose to whether or not you're going to work with the company or you're going to develop the game by yourself and then deliver it to the company. You choose to work with the company. He says you choose wrong, and then he shows 5 months later the game comes out, it's poorly reviewed, and that's it. That's the end of that storyline. So then you got to go back and you choose to develop it on yourself, and then the real storyline starts to develop, and his descent into madness develops, and then it's just so crazy. And like I said, I can't really spoil it because it's different for everybody who's going to watch, depending on the choices you make. I went through it once, and I got the standard where he develops the game. He has some problems. He ends up killing his father. The game comes out. It's a success, but they find out he gets arrested, so they pull the game, and then the girl's daughter, Colin's daughter, ends up developing a new version of the game, which ends up being the BanderSnatch episode that you're watching, and it's so crazy, and there's multiple endings, and it becomes so meta when they start breaking the fourth wall. Like, there's one point where he realizes, oh, what's going on, and he's like, and then give me a sign, and one of the choices is tell him you're watching on Netflix, or tell him, and then you pick Netflix, and it's like you're watching on Netflix. He goes to see the doctor. He's like, I'm being watched by something on Netflix. She's like, what is Netflix, a planet? The entire thing is insane, and it gets crazier. At one point, it's like, do you want to fight the doctor? And he's like, yeah. He throws coffee in her face, and then she's like, come on. He's like, you gonna fight it? Your choices are literally yeah and fuck yeah. So it's so insane. It's so insane. And I went through a whole different rabbit hole. There's so many different choices you make. I went through one choice where there's the backstory of how his mother gets killed. She gets killed in a train accident because he can't find his favorite stuffed animal because his father hid it. And because of that, she missed her first train, so she catches the second one, and the second one's the one that derails. There's a storyline that I went through where you find the bear. You take the bear back from your father as a child, and then you go with your mother on the train, and then you die on the train as a child. But that's only the flashback, and in the real world, you're talking to the psychiatrist, and you die in the chair. It was nuts. I mean, this was the most creative episode of an already very creative show in Black Mirror, and they just... I mean, I'm so impressed with this episode. I can't say enough about it, and it's very hard to give a flat score of BanderSnatch because there's so many. I mean, after you kill your father, there's different stories for what you do. Should you chop up the body or should you bury it? There's different stories for that. I haven't even gone. There's a point where you're hanging out with the other programmer dude, and you guys both take LSD, and you have a choice to jump off the balcony or make him jump. I made him jump. He fucking kills himself. It's insane. And then I didn't even go back to do the other one of what happens if you choose to jump. So I'm sure I still have options. I might do another video to explore all the other options and every other. I don't know. But this was cutting edge. I loved everything about it. I highly recommend you go watch BanderSnatch on Netflix. Black Mirror is just, again, on the forefront of entertainment, man. I love it. They're doing great things. Terrifying, but great things. This episode was so insane, and the Easter eggs from other Black Mirror episodes are great too. I still have to go watch it again just to catch all those. There's the blatant ones like the Metalhead Easter egg that's at the beginning, which is referenced a couple more times, and it's insane. This was very clever, very well done. I heard they shot over 300 minutes of footage to condense it down to what roughly ends up being about an hour and a half of an episode or an interactive experience, whatever you want to call it. It's crazy, man. This is next level entertainment we're at here, and I highly enjoyed it. It's going to be very interesting to see where they go from here. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to do this next? Who's the next person that's going to do this? Can you imagine if they had done something like this with a single episode of like Game of Thrones? Oh my God, I just can't. So, I mean, I know we're not going to get that now. The last season's coming up, but just imagine what the future holds. This was a huge step forward. I'm excited for this. BanderSnatch by Black Mirror, a great episode. I can't recommend it enough. You got to go check it out. Let me know in the comments what were some of the choices you made, something that you got that I didn't maybe catch up on in this that you want to speak about in the comments. Let me know. Let's discuss it. This is definitely discussion worthy. So let me know what you guys think. And as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you click the notifications so you know when I'm dropping more videos. And until next time, Black Mirror got you on your toes, man. You never know what they're coming with. But you know I'm coming with some more content, so make sure you keep it locked. Until next time, peace. 100, y'all.
So faded on a track like this, 'cause the music makes me high. And if I only got one more night, I'm gonna leave out loud goodbye.
This gonna be the type of night that